Have you ever wondered how Amish farmers grow wheat that consistently produces 50 bushels per acre without synthetic fertilizers or modern equipment? Most people think high wheat yields require chemicals and machinery, but traditional soil building and rotation methods perfected over generations make it possible. And today I'm showing you 10 of them. The fall planting timing. Amish wheat farmers plant in September or early October, not spring. This fall timing allows roots to establish deeply before winter, creating drought-resistant plants that outperform spring wheat by 30 to 40%. Pennsylvania communities documented this practice in the 1750s when they brought winter wheat varieties from Europe. Modern agricultural research from 2020 confirms fall planted wheat develops root systems 12 to 18 inches deep versus 6 to 8 inches for spring wheat, accessing moisture and nutrients other crops miss. They simply broadcast seed when soil temperature drops to 55 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, giving plants 6 to 8 weeks to establish before hard freeze. The seed selection and saving. Let me ask you something. Where do you get wheat seed? Amish farmers save seed from their best plants year after year, creating varieties adapted perfectly to local soil and climate. This Ohio practice from the 1840s develops wheat genetics that no commercial seed can match. Research from Cornell validates this completely. Locally adapted wheat varieties outperform commercial varieties by 15 to 25% in their home regions due to generations of natural selection. The method is brilliantly simple. At harvest, identify the tallest, healthiest, most productive plants. Save their seeds separately. Plant only the best genetics next season. Commercial farmers buy new seed annually, but you're improving genetics with every generation. The crop rotation. What if I told you Amish farmers never plant wheat in the same field 2 years consecutively, and this single practice prevents most diseases and doubles yields? The secret is strict rotation. Wheat follows hay or pasture, then corn, then oats, then back to hay. Each crop feeds different soil organisms and breaks pest cycles that would devastate continuous wheat. A 2019 study from Iowa State tracked rotated versus continuous wheat. Rotated wheat produced 45 to 55 bushels per acre with minimal disease. Continuous wheat produced 20 to 30 bushels with heavy fungicide requirements. Plant wheat after clover or alfalfa hay. Legume roots fix nitrogen that feeds next year's wheat without purchase fertilizer. The nitrogen alone is worth $60 to $80 per acre. Commercial monoculture wheat requires chemicals to fight problems that rotation prevents naturally. The manure application strategy. Most farmers apply manure in spring before planting. Amish wheat farmers apply aged manure in late summer, 4 to 6 weeks before planting wheat, giving nutrients time to integrate into soil. This Lancaster County practice from the 1860s recognizes that fresh manure releases nitrogen too quickly, causing wheat to grow lush foliage vulnerable to winter kill and disease. Aged manure applied in August breaks down slowly through fall, releasing nutrients gradually as wheat establishes. By spring, nitrogen becomes available exactly when wheat needs it for rapid growth. Modern research from 2018 showed August manure application increased wheat yields 12 to 18% compared to spring application, with stronger winter survival and better disease resistance. Spread 10 to 15 tons per acre of aged manure. Work it in lightly with disking. Wait 4 weeks, then plant wheat. The timing synchronizes nutrient availability with plant needs perfectly. Broadcasting and harrowing method. While modern farms use seed drills for precise planting, Amish farmers often broadcast wheat seed by hand or simple mechanical spreader, then harrow to incorporate seed into top 1 to 2 inches of soil. Northern Indiana communities perfected this technique in the 1870s when they discovered broadcasting produced better stands than drilling in their heavy clay soils. Broadcasting scatters seed randomly across the field. Harrowing with a spring tooth harrow or drag covers seed lightly while breaking soil crust. Rain and freeze-thaw cycles finish the planting process naturally. The random distribution prevents row competition. Plants space themselves naturally instead of competing in crowded rows with wide, empty spaces between. This creates more even stands and higher yields. Yields research from the University of Wisconsin tracked broadcast versus drilled wheat over 5 years. Broadcast wheat yielded 8 to 12% higher in heavy soils, where drilling created compaction and uneven germination. Seed rate is higher for broadcasting, 100 to 120 pounds per acre versus 90 pounds for drilling, but improved yields more than offset the extra seed cost. Modern drilling looks more precise, but you're creating raw competition that broadcasting avoids. The minimal tillage approach. Amish wheat farmers till far less than conventional operations. After harvest of previous crop, they disc once or twice to create seed bed, then plant wheat. No deep plowing, no multiple field passes. Ohio communities documented this soil-preserving approach in the early 1900s, when they noticed heavily tilled fields produced lower wheat yields and suffered worse erosion than lightly worked fields. Minimal tillage preserves soil structure and organic matter that deep plowing destroys. It maintains beneficial fungi and bacteria networks that feed wheat roots. It reduces erosion and moisture loss. A 2020 study from Penn State compared tillage intensity in wheat production. Fields with minimal tillage showed 15% higher yields, 40% better water retention, and 60% less erosion than conventionally tilled fields. After corn harvest, disc the field once to incorporate residue and level soil. Wait 2 weeks for decomposition to begin. Disc again lightly to create fine seedbed. Broadcast wheat seed and harrow. Total field passes: 3 2 disking, 1 harrowing, versus 7 or more for conventional preparation. Plow, disc twice, harrow, cultipacker, drill, roll. Less tillage means lower fuel costs, less soil damage, better moisture retention, and ultimately higher wheat yields because soil biology stays intact and functional. The winter grazing integration. Let me ask you something most people never consider. What grows in wheat fields from November through March? Amish farmers often graze cattle or sheep on wheat fields during winter dormancy. Animals eat excessive top growth, deposit manure, and stimulate wheat to develop stronger root systems without harming final grain yields. Pennsylvania dairy communities documented this dual-use system in the 1790s, when land scarcity required maximizing productivity from every acre. The practice works because wheat goes dormant in cold weather. Grazing removes foliage that would die anyway in hard freezes. Animal hoof action presses seed deeper into soil, improving winter survival. Manure fertilizes the crop, and farmers get winter grazing for livestock that would otherwise need stored hay. Research from the University of Kentucky tracked grazed versus ungrazed winter wheat over 8 years. Properly managed grazing, removed when wheat breaks dormancy in spring, showed identical or slightly higher grain yields compared to ungrazed wheat, while providing 60 to 90 days of livestock feed worth $80 to $120 per acre. Timing is critical. Allow grazing only when wheat is fully dormant and soil is frozen solid enough to prevent compaction. Remove animals by late February before spring growth begins. 1 acre produces 50 bushels of wheat in summer plus winter grazing for 2 to 3 cattle or 10 to 15 sheep. 2 crops from 1 field, 1 planting. Modern wheat farming views livestock and crops as separate enterprises, but integration multiplies productivity and profit from the same land base. The spring frost grazing management. In early spring, when wheat breaks dormancy and begins growing rapidly, Amish farmers watch growth carefully. If wheat grows too lush too fast, they run livestock through briefly to graze it back, preventing lodging problems at harvest. Wisconsin communities perfected this management technique in the 1880s when they recognized that overly vigorous spring wheat developed weak stems that fell over before harvest. Destroying yields. Lodging occurs when nitrogen-rich wheat grows tall, heavy foliage on thin stems that can't support the weight. Plants fall over, lodge, before grain matures, making harvest nearly impossible and ruining most of the crop. Brief early spring grazing removes excess foliage, forcing wheat to develop stockier stems and better root systems. The setback actually strengthens plants and increases final yields by preventing lodging. Research from Kansas State University studied spring wheat grazing management across the Great Plains. Fields grazed lightly in early spring when wheat reached 6 to 8 inches, showed 25% less lodging, stronger stems, and 10 to 15% higher yields than ungrazed fields that lodged heavily. The timing window is narrow when wheat is 6 to 8 inches tall and growing rapidly, usually late March or early April, depending on region. Graze for 7 to 10 days maximum, removing animals before wheat reaches boot stage. Stem elongation before heading. This technique requires livestock availability and management skill. It's not practiced on every field every year, only when spring conditions create overly lush growth that threatens lodging. Modern wheat gets synthetic growth regulators costing $15 to $25 per acre to shorten stems and prevent lodging. Amish use free livestock grazing that provides the same benefit while producing additional meat or milk value from the forage removed. Hand shocking and field curing. After harvest, Amish farmers don't immediately thresh wheat. They cut it with binders or cradles, tie bundles into shocks, upright stacks, and let them cure in the field for 2 to 3 weeks before threshing. Pennsylvania and Ohio communities maintain this practice from European traditions dating to the 1600s, continuing it even after mechanical combines became available. Field curing in shocks allows grain moisture to drop naturally from 18 to 20% at cutting to 12 to 14% at threshing. This prevents mold during storage and eliminates the need for expensive grain dryers that commercial farmers require. The shocks also allow late maturing grain to finish ripening after cutting. Wheat doesn't mature uniformly. Some heads are ready while others need a few more days. High shocking captures everything at optimal time while allowing late grain to finish. Research from the University of Minnesota studied traditional shocking versus direct combining. Shocked wheat showed 8 to 12% higher grain quality scores, better germination rates for saved seed, and superior storage characteristics because moisture content reached ideal levels naturally. 6 to 8 bundles stand in a teepee formation, heads up, leaning against each other. Rain sheds off. Air circulates through the shock. Sun and wind complete the drying and curing process. After 2 weeks, bundles are dry, crisp, and ready for threshing. Grain flows easily from heads. Moisture is perfect for long-term storage without deterioration. Modern combines harvest and thresh in one pass, requiring grain dryers that cost 50 cents to $1 per bushel. In propane to dry wheat from field moisture to storage moisture. Shocking costs only labor but produces superior grain quality while eliminating all drying costs. The community threshing circle. The final secret isn't just growing wheat, it's harvesting it efficiently through community cooperation that makes small-scale grain production economically viable. Amish communities own threshing machines collectively. One machine serves 15 to 20 families who help each other harvest in rotation. When your wheat is ready, 15 neighbors arrive with their horses, wagons, and labor. The entire harvest threshes in one day. Indiana communities formalized threshing circles in the 1830s, when grain production became central to farm income, but individual families couldn't afford threshing equipment. The rotation creates massive labor efficiency. Instead of each family struggling alone for a week, combined labor finishes each farm in 8 to 10 hours. Over 2 weeks, the entire community completes the harvest that would take months of individual effort. The threshing machine owner provides equipment, Participating families provide labor. No money changes hands. Everyone contributes labor days equal to the labor days received. The system self-balances through reciprocity. Research from agricultural historians studying 19th century grain production found that threshing circles allowed small farms to compete economically with large operations because they achieved the same economies of scale through cooperation that large farms achieved through size. Modern grain farming requires individual ownership of $300,000 plus combines that sit idle 50 weeks per year. Amish threshing circles share one $15,000 machine among 20 families, drastically reducing per farm equipment costs while maintaining harvest efficiency. The social benefit equals the economic benefit. Threshing Day is community event with shared meals, visiting, and relationship building that strengthens the networks making the entire Amish agricultural system function. One family cannot efficiently grow wheat at small scale. 20 families cooperating can grow wheat more efficiently than industrial operations while building community cohesion that has value beyond any dollar calculation. These 10 methods prove that Amish farmers achieve 50 bushel per acre wheat yields not through chemicals and expensive machinery, but through rotation, timing, minimal tillage, livestock integration, field curing, and community cooperation.